The Washington Nationals have lost 8 straight games, and guys, I've never been the one to call for people's jobs, but right now, the Washington Nationals need change, and I'll tell you why.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, I am your host, Ryan Clary. You can catch me over on Twitter at RyanClary11 and as well as our show page at LO_Nationals for all your latest Nationals news and notes. Make sure to check us out over on Twitter. And of course, look up Locked On Nationals wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's on Apple, Spotify, and of course, the video version over on YouTube. Again, just look up Locked On Nationals. Later on in today's program, the Rockies, one of the worst teams that we have ever seen, come to town tonight. They're going up against Brady House. He's making his debut. Of course, we'll have that discussion for you in the second segment of today's program because, again, top offensive prospect, huge, big-time talent coming to DC, but unfortunately comes on the heels of what is an 8-game losing skid for the Washington Nationals. And on Saturday, Davey Martinez called out the Nationals and their players. And I'll tell you this much, change needs to come right now. For those who may not totally grasp the situation here at hand, let me put it to you this way. The Washington Nationals are right now, they are what Ken Rosenthal said they are, a bottom dweller. They are. You cannot ignore that at this point in time. What do the Nationals do well? Well, not too much at this point. They have developed some talent. You have got James Wood. You've got C.J. Abrams. You've got some younger guys down in the system, whether it be Travis Sakura, who's a top 5 pitching prospect in the game right now, and in fact, probably top 3. The Nationals do have some talent. But when will this talent start to translate to wins? And I think this conversation starts with Davey Martinez. Saturday's game, when the Nationals just got swept by the Marlins this weekend, in which, by the way, the Marlins are a terrible team. Let's just say it as that. They are. They're a bad baseball team. They are 28-41. And heading into this series, they are 25-41. But they swept the Washington Nationals. And now we're here today with discussing why changes need to happen, discussing where this team has gone, because the Nationals, again, they have won once over their last 10 games. They are 1-9. They are now 15-21 at Nationals Park in 2025. This team right now needs a change. And I think the Nationals kind of brought some change here with Brady House. They think that is going to be the change, but that's not good enough for me. I have never been the one to call for people's jobs. I think it's stupid. I think it's immature. And I think it's just unfair because there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, even today, that we simply do not know about. Here's what we do know. Ownership and the lack of spending, they got to be better. Ownership has got to be better today, tomorrow, yesterday, a year from now. They have to be better. Mike Rizzo, the president of baseball operations, we have to get the player development down. We have not been able to develop talent correctly over the past few seasons. You've seen some success stories here. James Wood, Mackenzie Gore, C.J. Abrams becoming an all-star last season. James Wood, who should be an all-star this year, but I bet you it's going to be a popularity contest and he won't make the all-star game. But Davey Martinez, to go after Saturday's loss and to say what he had to say, which, by the way, let's pull up the quotes here because these quotes are pretty jarring, to say the least. Just kind of getting into it, this is what he said. And again, I'll give you these quotes right now, but here's his exact quote that really just kind of got off the rails here. Quote, "It's not on coaches. It's never on coaching. It's always been on the players. The coaches work their asses off. Davey, have a seat, my man. This is not the time to start pointing fingers. This is not the time when you have player development that has never really happened under Davey Martinez. When you have guys like Luis Garcia Jr. taking steps back. When you have the bullpen blowing games in epic proportion. When you have guys coming up into the majors and just ultimately slumping. And when you cannot get a lineup in charge. Yesterday's game on Sunday, having Alex Call in the leadoff spot when you have an all-star shortstop who, yeah, he has not been that great as of late, but why would you discipline him and prop up a fourth outfielder in the leadoff spot? I get that you're trying to change things, and you have gone in all season long and really the past few days telling us how you're going to change things. But you are changing the wrong things. It makes no sense anymore. Davey, it's not all on you. The players do have to be better. And who knows what's happening behind the scenes. But Davey, to say that it's not on coaching. Jim Hickey a few years ago believed that analytics were, he didn't say this, but he said they were pretty stupid. He did not say that directly, but that's what he said. Analytics is today's game. It is exactly what it is. That is why we have Sean Doolittle now. Then all of a sudden, Nats pitchers are doing a little bit better the last 2 seasons. Wouldn't you know? Darnell Coles. At one point in time, and Davey was in this also, they wanted to have the Nationals hit ground balls more often. True quote, that was said. To say that it's not on coaches. And then Ricky Gutierrez over the weekend, over the last week, having a bad send a few games ago and then holding Jacob Young in a crucial 9th inning situation. How can you say that it's not on coaching any way, shape, or form? And I can tell you this, I can read through the lines a little bit here. Davey wanted to have his coaches back. I get it. These are his guys. They're his guys. I understand that. But also these players are your guys. And the reason why the Nationals have a fighting chance at this point is because of the players and because of the talent that you have. But also the reason why, in my opinion, why the Nationals have kind of crumbled as of late is because of the lineup that you have put in place. You have not been getting guys the best of chances here in town. You have not. You have not put your best foot forward this season. You have not put together the best lineup each and every single day. You have had no consistency whatsoever in this Nationals lineup. That is an issue, and that is on coaching. Some guys need to respond, whether it be when CJ Abrams, when he gets in these big old funks for a month plus, yeah, things need to change. When James Wood is not hitting the way that he was earlier on this season, I'm not going to have James Wood catch some shrapnel here, but still, hopefully he gets through this slump. When Luis Garcia Jr., Keibert Ruiz are totally just missing the mark in every which way, defensively and offensively, yeah, that's also on them a little bit, but it's also on the coaching staff. It is. And the fact is, the quote is, what you kind of went out there and said, it's wrong. It just is wrong. And I don't know how many times I can sit here and yell and say, it's wrong, but it's wrong, Davey. It's so damn wrong to have this team through an 8-game losing skid when there are clear coaching blunders, whether it be Ricky Gutierrez, whether it be your lineup construction, or just whether it be in-game mistakes. Davey, why would you say that? It is not the best thing to say right now. And then before the game yesterday, to go on and say, yeah, the guys are fine. Everyone's fine. Really? You think everyone's fine? Andrew Golden of the Washington Post, he had this in his article, and I thought this was super insightful and honestly, not surprising. Quote from Andrew Golden's story on the Post, Multiple people familiar with the situation who spoke on the condition of anonymity. That word throws me off. I'm hyped up right now. Said the players took notice of Martinez's comments. One person said players were shocked, dismayed, and pissed. Before Sunday's game, members of the Nats front office staff, including GM Mike Rizzo, were around and chatting with players, which is atypical. Davey, have a sense of humility, man. Read the room. Look around. You have these young players who are trying to make their way in the major leagues and trying to win games, and yeah, they should be better. But you said the quiet part out loud, and you shouldn't have. Yes, players need to be better. Garcia has to be better. Ruiz has to be better. Your veteran pitcher you just signed to a 2-year deal, Trevor Williams, he has to be better. The bullpen has to be more prepared and be better, but also the coaching staff has to be more prepared. They have to be. It's not just on the players. It's not. It's on the organization. It's on the owners. It's on Mike Rizzo, and it's on you. Be better. Do better. That quote, it's inexcusable. I went on my little thread and tweet, whatever you want to say it was. I think Davey, overall, I understand what he was trying to say, but the fact is, you cannot say that out loud, especially when your team just lost its 7th straight game, and especially the next day you lose the way that you did in yesterday's game. You're ace on the mound, and you score 1 run, yet again, against the Miami frickin' Marlins. What are we doing? I mean, it's just, at this point in time, Ken Rosenthal, bottom dweller team, this is the way bottom dweller teams act. This is it. I love Davey, but if you lose tonight's game against the Rockies, and if you get smoked, in this series, in the 4-game series at home against the worst team in baseball and might be the worst team that we have ever seen, if you lose tonight, things are going to have to change. And unfortunately, it might be with Davey Martinez. I like Davey. He's a 2019 legend. Put a statue outside of Nats Park for all I care. The guy's going to be a legend here in town. He'll never have to pay for a drink again. But things need to change. And in my opinion, we've talked about it all season long. The lineups have been bad. Really bad. And you're making the wrong moves. So Davey, do something. Do something different. Brady House might be the spark plug that this Nats team needs because we need a right-handed power bat. He's coming in tonight, making his debut. And guess what? He might be that answer. And honestly, that might be the change the Nationals are kind of going for here. And after this weekend, they might want to shush people up a little bit and say, this is going to be it. He's going to be our fix. We'll see. Let's talk about Brady House, though. Because Brady House is exciting. Let's put the weekend. Let's flush it away. The Nationals, we'll talk about it again in a few weeks and see how they respond. But right now, you got to be excited for Brady House. You should be excited. This guy is a great player. He's going to have a huge impact. But before we jump into that, got to tell you guys about our friends over at OpenPhone. And if you're running a business, you know that every missed call is money left on the table. And think about the last time you had a service emergency like a bursted pipe. If the first plumber didn't answer, did you wait? Nope. You called the next one. That's why having a reliable business line is so important. And that's why you need OpenPhone. And OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system that helps you streamline and scale customer communication, all from an app on your phone or computer. And of course, did you juggle 2 phones just to keep businesses and personal calls separate? OpenPhone solved that instantly, and your whole team can share one number and respond to customers like a shared inbox. No more who's handling this. I want to make your business a lot easier, and you can do that with OpenPhone. And of course, OpenPhone is offering Locked On Nats listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/LockedOnMLB. That's OPEN PHONE.com/LockedOnMLB. And if you have existing numbers with another service, OpenPhone will port them over at no extra charge. OpenPhone, no missed calls, no missed customers. Thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. We're done with the Davey Martinez discussion. Let's talk about some good things. Brady House is making his debut against the Colorado Rockies tonight, and this is kind of what the Nationals need. We talked about my first initial reaction on yesterday's show and kind of what he's going to provide. Let's kind of get back into that here for today's program. Here's what the Nationals need. And again, if you were to just kind of think of what the Nats need, yeah, they need another starting pitcher. That's not going to happen at this point. Yeah, they need some bullpen help. Probably not going to happen. But you have a solution to one of your biggest problems, and that is a right-handed power bat. We have seen the Nationals put all sorts of lineups out against left-handed pitching, and we're missing that marquee right-handed power bat. Well, you've got someone now. 22 years old, just turned 22, by the way, 12 days ago. That is Brady House. 60 grade power, and he is having probably his best season to date as a major leaguer, or as a minor leaguer, rather. An 872 OPS in 65 games. He has got 13 home runs, 41 RBIs, 75 strikeouts, which, again, if you're going to hit for power, strike out as much as you want at this point in time. Doesn't matter to me. 15 doubles on the year. He's got a triple as well. And this is the kind of production that I think we could expect down the road. It's not going to happen overnight. And again, as we've kind of discussed with Dylan Cruz, as we've discussed with James Wood last year, with CJ Abrams a few years back, there is no, it's not going to click right away. It's taken a while for CJ Abrams. It didn't really take that long for James Wood, but he's a freak of nature and a superstar already. But Brady House is going to take a little bit more time than what you think. And that's okay, because the Nationals, they've got time. And also, let me just say this. The way that the Nationals could construct their lineup, I think could make it a hell of a lot easier for Brady House to make a big impact for the Washington Nationals. This guy has got real, legit power. And we have talked about kind of the dream the last few seasons of the Nationals and kind of seeing into the future of what the lineup could look like. Having a top three of CJ Abrams leading off, and then having Brady House your number 2 hitter potentially, and then James Wood is your number 3, followed by Nathaniel Lowe. That is a lefty, righty situation here. If you're worried about stacking all your left-handed hitters, which the way that the Nationals have done over the last few months here, Brady House solves this issue. And Brady House, in the middle of those guys, also provides protection. Now, I'm not going to say that Brady House is going to be batting third in tonight's game or second even. It's going to be probably Abrams and then Wood and then whatever follows after that. Who knows at this point, really? But that's what should be the vision. And if I'm the Nationals, I'm doing that tonight. I am dropping him in the middle of this lineup because I do think it makes it a lot easier for Brady House to hit the ground and running. And really, that's what this should be about right now. The Nationals, they need help. They need help really badly. They have pinpointed Brady House as that guy. Unfortunately, probably coming up at not the best of times, losing 8 straight games, a few days after Davey Martinez called out players, and players are reportedly not happy, and they're quote-unquote pissed, according to one of Andrew Golden's sources. These things are going to happen over the course of a season. They're going to. But Brady House, while I do think the Nationals are probably trying to smother a fire here with what's going on with Davey Martinez and the losing streak, bringing Brady House up, that's not to say that he's not ready. We've been clamoring for this for weeks now. Brady House has been ready. So really, I think that's a kind of a cop-out answer to say, well, they're trying to smother a fire here. Yeah, I think they are too. But also, Brady House is more than ready at this point. And right now, the Nationals need this. They need to have Brady House in this lineup. Again, not only is he going to provide a plus offensive bat there, he is a very, very good defender. I was trying to just kind of rack my brain earlier this morning of guys that he kind of reminds me of. And I've kind of had this in the back of my head for a while now. He reminds me a little bit, this might sound crazy, but a little bit of a Matt Chapman type. I don't know if he's going to be as good defensively as Matt Chapman, who has won multiple gold gloves over at third base, probably the best third baseman defensively in all of baseball. I'm not sure if he's going to be that good, but I do think he has that ceiling. I think he has the ability to be a top 3 defensive third baseman, which people don't really discuss enough. This guy has made a ton of web gem plays throughout the minor leagues. You've seen it in spring training. You've seen the cannon arm over at third base, the big frame. He has got some mobility there over at third, in which, by the way, is a pretty key asset for a third baseman nowadays. You've seen a lot of brilliant defensive third basemen here in DC, whether it be Ryan Zimmerman early on in his career and then Anthony Rendon in the 2010s. We know what it looks like. I think Brady House could follow along those similar lines. Now, I think the big question will be is what can he do offensively? And what can he be? Because we have seen him go through a lot of struggles throughout his career, whether it be striking out too many times, not putting the ball in play, the power going to one side of the field. But I do believe that if Brady House is a finished, complete product, then you could see a similar slash line to guys like Ryan Zimmerman earlier on in his career, guys like Anthony Rendon. If everything works out, Brady House has the potential to be a 35 home run guy, hit 30 plus doubles also, and hit right around 280, and also be a very good defender over at third base. A lot of people have been down on Brady House these past few seasons because last year, while he wasn't bad by any means, he wasn't great either. He killed the ball in Double-A, but as soon as he got up to Triple-A, the power kind of went away there. But so far this season, he has gotten bigger, he has gotten more mature, and Brady House, he's ready. Like, this is the finished product that the Nationals expected a few years ago when you had Brady House, a 60 grade power bat, only a 45 hit tool, but even then, I think it plays a little bit more than what scouts out there believe. I think Brady House is going to be a very big plus to this team, and I do think he will help this team win, but I'm not sure it's going to happen overnight here. I'm not 100% convinced that is this going to be drop him in the lineup and he's going to make an impact and go 2 for 4 tonight with a double. I don't know if that's going to be the case at this point. But I do believe down the road, whether it be in August, whether it be opening day of next year in 2026, that Brady House is going to be a legit offensive piece for this team. And really right now, the Nationals need that. And if he can hit a couple home runs over the next few weeks and show off his power, he's going to stay here in the bigs for the rest of his career, hopefully. The Nationals need this. They need a moral victory. And this is kind of what you're getting with Brady House getting called up to the bigs. And I think right now, with where the Nationals are, this is kind of what the doctor ordered. Yeah, you're smothering a little bit of a fire with what's going on in the organization, what's going on big picture-wise. But right now, this is a win. And the Nationals, you get to see your top guy, your top offensive hitting prospect, and really kind of the last guy of this wave that, the wave of the early 2020s of guys like Robert Hassel III. We've seen him. He was okay. He got optioned down to AAA. Jose Tena, optioned down to AAA also. Those guys still need some work. But Brady House, he's the next of it. And really, after that, you've got guys like Luke Dickerson who's a few years away. You've got guys like Yohandy Morales who will likely be here maybe later in the season, but likely early on next season. And then down the line also, Caleb Lomavita, a catcher who's in high A Wilmington. The Nationals have got some moves here to make. And right now, Brady House is kind of the last of that line to get up to the bigs, and the Nationals desperately need him to hit. They do. They really do. And if I'm Mike Rizzo, you better hope that he is hitting the you-know-what out of the baseball and things start to change, because that's a very likely possibility that could happen. That Brady House entered this lineup and this offense all of a sudden gets dramatically better and makes things around him easier for himself and also easier for guys like James Wood, C.J. Abrams, and maybe a Keibert Ruiz or Nathaniel Lowe benefits as well. So Brady House makes his debut. Let's preview that game tonight. Before we jump into it, though, got to tell you guys about our friends at Supply House and gets the supplies that you need from the site made for skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is a reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help in an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. And thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. So join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That is at supplyhouse.com. And the Nationals get going tonight as they face off against the Colorado Rockies. And really, before we jump into this, though, gotta say, this is a gotta-have-it series from the Nationals. Like, no joke, Nats have to win. And the Colorado Rockies, they're coming off a 10-1 win in Atlanta yesterday, in which they blew the doors off the Atlanta Braves. But this has got to be a game that the Nationals have. You've got Jake Irvin on the bump tonight. Jake Irvin has had his ups and downs, but I think tonight, going up against a pretty lackluster offense, you should take advantage of this. But really, the main story is going to be this: the Nats offense. The Nats offense has been putrid as of late. It's been terrible. Brady House is going to help that. And also, this Rockies pitching staff, it's going to help you as well. You're going up against Carson Palmquist tonight. You ever heard of him? Probably have not. In 5 starts this year, he's got a 7.77 ERA. Think about that. Think about it for a second. He wishes that he had Patrick Corbin's numbers of last year. He wishes that he had a 5 ERA at this point. And yeah, playing at Coors Field, it's going to inflate those numbers just a little bit. But this pitching staff right now is one of the worst that you will ever see. Genuinely. Their starting ERA is in the 7s at this point in time. The Nats have got to take advantage of, number one, the worst team in the sport. The worst team in the sport and the worst starting pitching staff, and probably the worst organization in the sport with the Colorado Rockies also. This is a bad baseball team. If you're on an 8-game losing skid, like the Nationals are, if you're coming off a series in which your manager just threw players under the bus, and you had one wish, your wish would be to play the Colorado Rockies at home for a 4-game series the way that the Nationals are. And by the way, have your top offensive hitting prospect called up. That's what you would wish for. And the Nationals got their wish. But now, you got to take advantage of this. The Rockies have no pressure. They know that they are a terrible baseball team. They understand that, and they know it. But the Nationals, this is your last hope. And Davey Martinez, with you, this is your last hope. If you lose 3 of 4, or even 2 of 4 against this team at home against this pitching staff, you're going to be on the hot seat. You will be. And likely, if the Nationals don't win 3 of 4, I could see them moving off of Davey Martinez. And if they have a really bad meltdown in one of these games, whether it's the bullpen, whether it's the Nats offense only putting up 1 run, changes are going to come. I don't know what that change will be. I don't know if it will be Darnell Coles. I don't know if it's going to be I don't know if it's going to be Jim Hickey. And it might even be Davey Martinez. But things are going to have to change. And you have got your wish granted. You have gotten Brady House in the lineup. You have gotten the worst team in baseball coming to your place that, by the way, you haven't been that great at home this year. 15-21. You are technically better on the road, even though you've played 1 less game on the road, so you have 1 less loss. That's really what it comes down to. but you have gotten what you have asked for. An 8-game losing skid. You need to pile up some wins, and you need to get this thing back on track. The Rockies are coming to town. You got to take advantage of this, Davey. You have to. So maybe Davey Martinez can, maybe he can't, but tonight's game, all eyes are going to be on Davey Martinez and this Nationals offense. And can they put up runs against a really bad starting pitching staff with the Colorado Rockies? And can Brady House break out in his major league debut? A lot to watch for in tonight's contest as the Nationals take on the Rockies with Jake Irvin on the bump, going up against Carson Palmquist with a 7.77 ERA in 5 starts. Take advantage of this. You don't get many of these. So thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen. Of course, on tomorrow's show, we'll talk about this Rockies game. We'll talk much more about Brady House and Davey Martinez, and we'll see if changes are made. But until then, enjoy tonight's game. Enjoy Brady House. He is here, and he is the king.